Good morning, everyone. I really can't say good morning for me because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I will admit. But with me being in a bad mood, I feel like it's the perfect time to talk about some bookish, unpopular opinions. My animals today are really trying me. We're gonna start with one of my favorites on this list, and it's something I've said for literal years, and that's that Stephen King is not the king of horror. Look, I can appreciate and understand that he was very influential and like a founder of the horror genre, but I hate him. I've read a couple of his books throughout the years, and they're just nah. The only one I thought was like even somewhat interesting was Pet Cemetery, but like why was it this chunky? I feel like he's just really full of himself. Even in interviews and such, I just think that he's kind of an asshole. Like he's just, I feel like it comes through in his writing too, his cockiness. And let's just talk about his books in general, like the premises of them. It's just stupid. Like I don't think he has a lot of good ideas, which a lot of people will come at me for that one, but I'm like, Cujo, a rabid dog, that's oh so scary. Or like Christine the car, it's just stupid in my opinion. I know he was on drugs for a lot of his time, but I just don't like it. You know, I do want to read The Shining because everyone's talked about it. I'm a hater. I didn't like the movie. I know it's like a classic horror, whatever. I didn't understand it. I heard the book was better because they actually explain it, but yeah, he's just not, I don't think he's scary. And maybe it's because I didn't grow up in the really big Stephen King era. I'm a little bit after when Stephen King was like super popular. I mean, I can't say that he's not now because he still is. Some of my favorite horror movies are the It movies, so I have to give the man some credit. I'm just saying, I don't think he is the king of horror. I don't think he is the best horror writer. I don't even think that he's among the top horror writers. I can appreciate he was a founder, but I'm not putting him in with best. No way. A second hot take I have, I just think that the fake dating trope in romance is really hit or miss. And I feel like a lot of people actually would agree with this. Because a lot of books, it's just, you're not even fake dating, you're just dating and you're saying that it's fake. Like, it's just cringy. And then other times, like I just read The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and the fake dating in that was cute in my opinion. But it just really depends. And honestly, I feel like a lot of these really popular romance and romantasy tropes are hit or miss, because I feel like there's just so many coming out and people don't do them right. So it's like, it just really depends on the story. Another trope, hot take, whatever you want to call it, is the miscommunication trope, especially in like romance and fantasies. I feel like it's in like any book, it pisses me off. But when you're telling me you have this chonky book and the entire book could have been solved if you took 30 seconds to tell each other what was going on, it irks me. Like it's not even like a, oh, I get frustrated because of the angst or, you know, the anticipation. It's like, no, it genuinely pisses me off, and I think that they just need to not do that. There are few books that do it right, you know, where it's like, oh, they accidentally like passed each other, like they just missed each other. But for the most part, I hate that trope, because usually the author takes it and that's the entire plot line, is simply just one miscommunication. It's okay if you like subtly put it in there and it's like one incident, but when the whole plot is based on it, it irks. Okay, this is another one, and I feel like I've been seeing this one a lot on people's hot takes, so I know that it's not just me, but it still may offend some people, especially the romance girlies. But I feel like a lot of these new romantasy books are literally just copy paste ACOTAR. Like Sarah J Maas, she didn't obviously start the romantasy genre, okay? Let's be so real. Yes, I love ACOTAR, okay? I'm a fan of it. I read them. Look, I'm gonna flex here for a second because I do like to brag about it. I read them back when they first got published. I remember waiting for them to come out, okay? So it's been years that I've been fans of them, and then all of a sudden Book Talk blew up and it became a thing, and then it was like fairy porn, and it is not. I find that so offensive. It's a good story. Like, I always thought it was really good. I just feel like so many of the new ones coming out have the exact same premise, and it's like, maybe they're not just copying Sarah J Maas in general, maybe they're just copying that plot, but it's like, dude, can we get some like originality in some of these romanticities now? Like seriously, every single one coming out, I'm like, I'd rather just go reread ACOTAR because I love those books. But it makes me so mad. And again, with the other little hot take with that is that people say ACOTAR is fairy porn and it's not, and that makes me so mad. You think that's smut? All right, honey, sure. Still going with like the romance genre, because like, I think this is why I'm not an uber big romance girly, is because it's so icky, it makes me mad. But another one is that a lot of these dark romance smuts are just like AI slop. Like someone is literally put in ChatGPT, give me a mafia romance, blah blah blah, and it is like horrible writing. Sure, the smut is smutting. It feels like I'm reading some story off Urban Dictionary. Like, okay, but there's no story or plot behind them. I just read one book that a coworker recommended me, and yeah, the smut was really good. That's why it got a good rating, or a decent rating, but the actual plot was just ugh. And I feel like the dark romance and the smuts, they also are very like similar plot lines. Like it's all the same book over and over and over again. I can't. This is why I kind of got off my smut, you know, kick a couple years ago. I was reading a lot of it because I was like, oh, and then I just was like, these are all the same story. I don't want mafia romance. I don't want secret society. It's just, it's over the top. Like I don't know. I like me a little smut when it's mixed in with a good story, but when it's just, yeah, I don't know. I can't with it anymore. Still on with some of the romance tropes. The touch her and you die trope grosses me out. There are very few times that like it's good. Like, okay, ACOTAR, I liked it in there, it wasn't overdone, but some of these new books, I'm like, this is disgusting. I just think that that trope has gotten so overdone, especially since, like I said, so many romanticities and dark romance are coming out with the exact same plot line, and they're just trying to like, here's another hot take, I feel like a lot of these new romance authors are really just trying to tick the boxes of everything they know gets attention, and it's gross. Like so many of the books I see recommended on Book Talk, I'm like, that's literally ChatGPT. You said I want this because it gets views, and you wrote it, and it's so bad. Still on my romance rant, the insta-love trope really also icks me out. In books, it's kind of gross. I think I read a romance book earlier and they just immediately were like so in love and planning this whole life together, and I was like, this is so unrealistic. I feel like especially in today's society, like people don't want to put in the effort for a friendship, let alone a relationship, and now you're just gonna automatically be planning your whole life together, and I think it just grosses me out. And I think that's my biggest thing with romance, is I think it's so unrealistic. I like some of the old classic romance because it's slow burn, and slow burn is peak romance, okay? I love, give me 400 pages of just the angst and the anticipation, and then they finally hold hands. I'll be so happy. I'll be much happier with that than all of these sex scenes thrown in a book, okay? Grosses me out. Enough with all the romance hate. We're just gonna get into some more general bookish hot takes. Some people may hate me for this, but sometimes the book is not better than the movie. I did not read The Hunger Games growing up, okay? I grew up in the dystopian era, so Divergent, Maze Runner, Hunger Games, they were all popular. All of my friends were reading them. I didn't. I tried reading Divergent, couldn't get into it. I tried reading Hunger Games and I literally could not get into it. The movies came out, I loved the movies. I tried reading the book again, still did not like it. I couldn't do it. And then Maze Runner, I saw the movies first, and then I was like, oh my god, I loved the first movie, like let me try reading the book. And I hated the book. So those are three right there where I think the movies were so much better. And I know Divergent, a lot of people are like, no, because I know it's totally different in the books than it is in the movies. But for me, I just like, I don't know, I could not get into the dystopian YA books when I was that like age. I just couldn't. I still can't. And I know everyone's been hyping up Hunger Games with the new movies coming out and the new books coming out, and I want to be one of those girlies, but I know that I'm just not going to like it. Like I tried 2 different times when I was a kid before I saw the movies. Those are like multiple hot takes in one little rant, but I just, yeah, sometimes the movie is better. It just is. Okay, another one that really irks me and makes me so upset is when I see people, and some of my fellow booktubers do it, when they're like, oh, men can't write female characters. What? What? No, no, no. If anything, I feel the opposite is true sometimes. I feel like women don't write men very well, okay? I mean, it can go both ways. Let me actually just say that. It can go both ways. But in my personal experience, some of my favorite female characters have been written by men. I don't know why, you know? And some of my favorite male characters have been written by females. Like, I think it's so stupid when people say that, because you can turn the table and it can go both ways. You know, and that's even like a societal thing. Women say things about men and I'm like, okay, but women do it too. Like, I don't like putting the gender thing on the table, because I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. Like, it's just, did they write it well or not? I think that men can write great female characters. I just read a book and I loved her, and it was written by a man. So that one's just a personal, it pisses me off. Like, just, why do you have to bring up male, female? Just say if the character was good or not. As a fantasy lover, it makes me kind of upset when people are like, oh, but all fantasy books are just copy paste Lord of the Rings. You have to understand, just like I said, I don't like Stephen King, but I can understand and respect he paved the way for horror. You have to understand, Tolkien was a man of his time, okay? He was ahead of the game. Tolkien paved the way for fantasy. He is one of the founders of the fantasy genre. So yeah, sometimes books take from that. Most people in like interviews with authors will flat out say, I got my inspiration and my love for writing and reading from Tolkien, okay? But when some of these, I think it's just people that read newer books. I don't know, there's something, I think book talk is ruining people. That's another hot take. Book talk is ruining readers. You're just reading AI slop, and you need to stop and read some good books, okay? Like, some of them are good, but most of them are not. Back to my Tolkien rant. Yes, a lot of fantasy books take aspects of Lord of the Rings because it is that classic fantasy. He's everyone's inspiration. He's an amazing writer. The Lord of the Rings was a huge story. It was huge for its time. It's still huge now. Look at the impacts it had on the fantasy genre. But people that just flat out say it copy pasted Lord of the Rings. And you're probably thinking, well, Trinity, you just said that about ACOTAR. I sure did, because it's true. And I will admit, there are some books that are basically Lord of the Rings. But to say all fantasy? No, honey. They just take aspects. He was a king. He is like the founder. So yeah, sometimes there are similarities. I feel like that maybe you guys are gonna come at me because I literally just said the same thing about ACOTAR and Romantasy, but I feel like that one's a little more true. Another one I have, trauma is not character development. Just making a character have every single trauma in the world does not make it a good character. Why make one person go through all this trauma and it's still not even that good of a book? And there's been like some fantasy books, some romance books, there's been so many different kinds of books I've read where it's like, let's just make this person go through the most horrible, awful things, but like they're still not an interesting character at all. I'm like, you're just trying to throw all this trauma out to make me sympathize with them, but it's actually just making me not like them. I don't know, I don't think trauma is character development. I have 3 more kind of hot takes, and they're all related to like not the content of the book, but just the book itself. Covers on books. People are like, don't judge a book by its cover. Everyone judges books by a cover. You're not gonna pick a book off the shelf if it looks boring. Like, it's just human nature to be attracted to things that visually please you. And so if I'm walking and I'm looking for a new book, I'm gonna pull off a cover that looks interesting to me and then read the synopsis. I'm not just gonna sit there and read every single synopsis. The only time I don't care about the cover is if it's a book someone has recommended to me or I've already heard good things about and I know that I'm like going to look for it. But most of the time, if you're just in a bookstore, you're going to pick off the books that call to you. So judging a book by its cover, yeah, I do that. I think like a lot of people do that, and you should do that because there's a reason cover art is like such a big thing. You have to be able to pull in an audience. Another one, this one's not that controversial because I feel like a lot of people agree with me. I've seen plenty of little memes and videos about it, but people that organize their books by color, they scare me, okay? But the colors, you're splitting up series, you're mixing mass markets and paperbacks and hardcovers. Like, it literally grosses me out. I could never do it. I could never do it. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. Like, I love seeing Pinterest boards of colored bookshelves, but personally, I would cry. Like, I would actually cry. I like having the mixed colors, and I like trying to keep like hardbacks and paperbacks together when I can. Series have to stay together too. Like, that's so, I would cry. Like, there's so many books in series I know that have different colors, so then you would split them apart. I think it's just scary. I think it's scary if you do it. If you do it, good for you. I do think it's really pretty, but I could never do it. I think I would actually have a panic attack. Okay, y'all, my last opinion on books is deckled edges. Deckled edges are like the sound of someone scratching chalkboard. I hate them. I hate them so much. They really gross me out. Like, when I'm reading, it just, ooh, like, it physically makes me ill touching deckled edges. I know I own books with deckled edges because they're old books, or that's just the only way they were ever published, and I hate them, okay? And even like, I don't know the point of them, to be honest. Like, maybe it's so that you can grab the next page easier because they're all uneven. I don't know, but I just know that I don't like them, and I would much rather have a flat book. Like, I need flat. I need flop. You can't flop a deckled edge the same way you can a nice straight edged book, okay? They just make me sick, and I don't like them. I don't like them. Okay guys, even if you didn't agree with some of these, please don't be upset, because this is just my opinion. It's all fun and games, okay? Everyone has opinions, and that's just life. But if you guys have watched this far, thank you so much for dealing with my attitude. I actually am feeling so much better. This was a nice little anger release for me, and I feel a lot better to go about my day today. So I am about to start a new job, so I will be a little bit busier. But hopefully I'm gonna keep reading, because I've been reading like a maniac, and I want to keep making content because it makes me happy. Even if it doesn't get views, it doesn't get likes, I really don't care. It's just fun for me. I think that's part of the reason I'm feeling so much better right now, is I just had fun doing that. So if you guys have stuck around this far, let me know if you agree with some of my opinions. If you don't like agree, also tell me, because again, opinions are opinions, and I want to hear your thoughts. It's okay. We don't need to have fights. We just need to talk. That's what people do, and I love that. Anyway, guys, I love you so much. I'm rambling as I always do, but I will see you soon, hopefully, with a new video.